August 1741, George Frederick Handel undertook the monumental task of taking the text of Charles Jennens to compose what would become his most notable work. In a mere 23 days, I want you to kind of absorb that. So many of you who are composers and songwriters here in the room, in 23 days, he wrote the Messiah, or Messiah. 23 days. It is an oratorio in 53 movements. So that's 53 different songs. Some of them choral pieces, some of them solos. And the lyrics are comprised mostly of Old and New Testament scriptures telling of the Advent, which means the coming of, the birth, and then the passion, death, and resurrection of the Christ. It includes not only the vocal lines, but also the orchestration, which is pretty unbelievable. I just want to remind you, 23 days. It's sort of unheard of. It was unheard of in his time. And I want to say it's something of a miracle, frankly. That something that was him, but greater than him, said, let's write this. I just have to note that. The work begins with a majestic overture from the orchestra, after which a lone voice steps forwards and sings with authority these words from the prophet Isaiah. Comfort ye, comfort ye, my people. Comfort ye. Comfort ye, my people, saith your God, saith your God. Speak ye comfortably to Jerusalem. Speak ye comfortably to Jerusalem. And cry unto her that her warfare is accomplishing, that her iniquity is pardoned, that her iniquity is pardoned. The voice of him that crieth in the wilderness, prepare ye the way of the Lord, make straight in the desert a highway. Excuse me. Thank you. You got it? Give me a minute to catch my breath. That takes a lot of oxygen, I'm just telling you. Isaiah, the prophet, spoke those words centuries before the Messiah actually showed up. Right? So, what's the point? You know, I always like to go back to when we're talking about the Bible or any teaching, frankly, any religious system that has these ideas, these truths, these words that were actually written down and had been written about and sung about and talked about for centuries. What's the point? What's the point? Comfort ye my people. Comfort ye my people, saith your God. The words of truth from God that starts with, comfort ye my people. Now, if we want to be the people of God that I think we do want to be, can we know then that this prophet millennia now ago is speaking to us and saying, comfort ye my people. If you have any wisdom, if you have any heart of love, if you have any desire to be used of this God, could you know that maybe your first job, your first impulse, your first heart gift might be to comfort people? I work every day, either as a therapist, as a teacher, as a staff minister here, with people who are suffering. Suffering. Where did the suffering come from? Misunderstanding. Now, we can talk about trauma. We can talk about abuse. We can talk about abuse of power. In our world these days, I don't know, anyone notice some abuse of power? Is it just me? Abuse of power. At the macro level, at the individual level. You know, I spend a lot of my time watching people in relationships that are transactional. What does that mean? Transactional relationships. This for that. I'll be this if you'll be that. Transactional relationships often lead to disappointment, resentment, suffering. Right? Anyone experience that? Don't raise your hand. Unless you want to. Suffering. So much suffering. Here's what I know beyond a shadow of a doubt. We are not what we've done. We are not what's been done to us. See, this is where the story comes from that we keep telling ourselves. This is who I am. This is who I am because of what I've done and what's been done to me. This is who I am. So we create this story and we keep telling ourselves this story, and therefore we suffer. But what if we could learn? What if we could show people you are not your story? You are not your story. What if we could come from this place of love that starts out by saying, find comfort from your authentic self. And the love that is absolutely the truth of your authentic self. Let go of the story. Let it go. Let it go. You go, that doesn't sound easy. Or like I'm trying to make it sound like it's simple. It is simple. It might not be entirely easy. And it's going to require hand-holding and patience and some guidance maybe. But what if we can absolutely, every one of us in this room, I want us to talk about being the change we want to see. If I want to see a more loving and compassionate world, then I'm going to have to be loving and compassionate. First to me. Those voices in my head that tell me a story. See, they have to be silenced. And it's not just about going, oh, that story's not true. Okay, done. See, this is a work. This is progress. It has to have patience and diligence. So first I start with compassion towards me. You know, what if I started talking to myself as my beloved? You know, it's easy for me to look out here and say, hello, beloved, because I mean it. Many of you in this room, I'm going to go ahead and say, have saved my life from time to time. Lavinia, how I adore you. What a gift you are to me. You know, I can look around the room. Ursula, oh my God. You know, Sue, Dale, Becky, Antoinette, Buddy, Cynthia. We didn't know we were going to save each other, did we, Cynthia, when we met? When, in the 80s? I'm seeing Amy back there. I could name every one of you. There's almost every person in this room. I could tell you a story, Barb, of how Lucia, now see, I just want to name, I want to go down the row and name every person here because we've saved each other. We've comforted each other. We've been compassionate towards each other. Mark, Gordon. I can't stop. Stephen, oh my God. Can we do this? Will we do this? You know, I thought you're reading about debt. At first I'm like, what the hell? But I have to say, then here's what came to me. What you were talking about was compassion. Compassion to me. I could beat the heck out of myself around debt. There have been moments in my life where I have beat the heck out of myself over debt. But what if I can say, oh, some of that was an innocent mistake, an innocent misunderstanding, right? And the way I'm going to heal that suffering is by starting out by going, my love, my beloved, you are forgiven. Innocent misunderstanding. Wish I'd known better. Now I do. Love for me, love for the debt. Now that's kind of a revolutionary concept, right? Love for the debt. Love for the lesson. Every mistake or innocent misunderstanding can be one of two things, something we hate or something we learned from and moved on. Comfort. Find comfort in this. And then move forward. New, different, wiser. And by the way, it will not be perfect. You know, our beloved, oh my God, now I'm going to forget her name. That speaks here, not Rosemary. Denise, there it is, Denise Yergin, who I adore. Denise, if you're watching, sorry. She talks about metaphysical malpractice. I call it the new thought trap. What's that? This teaching that tells us we can be and have whatever we decide can be used against us to beat us to death. Wow, you got problems? Must not be living that new thought. Yeah, that metaphysical thing, it doesn't seem like you've got it yet. Comfort, compassion, love. First for me. Once I've accomplished it to a certain degree in myself, then I can start looking at other people and going, oh no, they deserve compassion too. My compassion. My compassion. And maybe what I need to do is teach them to have compassion for themselves. You see how this thing perpetuates, and it becomes a movement. It becomes a force that will change the world. I know one thing, it will at least change mine. And if my world changes and I'm rubbing up against Joelle and Raven, maybe their world will change too some. And then it can see the ripple effect of comfort. The song goes on to say, speak ye comfortably to Jerusalem. The word Jerusalem is actually city of peace. That's what Jerusalem means, city of peace. And right now I find it so troubling that Jerusalem is not a city of peace. Except what if it is actually? What if somewhere underneath all this, there can be this abiding thing that's called peace? What if we can all know ultimately this is going to work out? What if I can believe that? Because I believe that our belief changes appearances. Speak ye comfortably to Jerusalem, and cry unto her that her warfare is over, that her iniquity is pardoned. Now, I can apply that literally to the city of Jerusalem, and I can apply it to other troubled areas in our world, and I can apply it to me. What if I could come to a place where I could say, my warfare is over? Those struggles, those things that have felt like war, that have felt like turmoil. What if I could say there's a place in me where that is over? And that my iniquity, that word can be ominous until what if we say all the mistakes I've made, the things that I've done that were a misunderstanding, they're pardoned. Pardoned. What if I could take that, get an image in my mind of the prison doors opening and I get to fly out. My iniquity is pardoned. My mistakes are pardoned. Then it says, the voice of him who cries in the wilderness. What if that's you? What if that's me? The voice of him that cries in the wilderness, prepare ye the way of our Lord, of the Lord. Make straight in the desert. What's a desert? It's a place where there's not much life, not much growth. Could be feeling like me. Make straight in the desert a highway for our God. Make straight in the desert a highway for our God. Make straight in the desert a highway for God. What if I'm the one that gets to bring that in, usher that in? What if today I hear the words that I'm saying? What if you could hear the words I'm saying and not go, oh, that is intimidating. Maybe that makes me feel guilty that I didn't do or I'm not doing more. But see, it again has to come back from the place of compassion, love, comfort. In this season where these words are being thrown around to sell hair dryers. I don't know. What do people want for Christmas? Vacuum cleaners. What if we really took them to heart and said, today, in every encounter, Morrissey, Mary Morrissey, and in her Prosperity Plus, one of the things, I took so much away from that teaching. Are we teaching that here anymore? We should, shouldn't we? Yeah. Prosperity Plus, boy, did it help me. It changed my life in so many ways. I'm starting to think of many of the ways that it changed my life. But one of the things she says is, what if we made a commitment every day to making every interaction with another person an encounter of increase? An encounter of increase. You know, if with intention, I'm walking up to the woman behind at the grocery store, the checkout person, and as she's checking me out and she's thinking about all the things, whatever, blah, 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 she might even be turning and talking to the one sacking the groceries, and I'm not even in her sight, certainly not in her mind. And what if I leaned forward and just said, I hope you have a wonderful day. Thank you for your service. That's all. Walk off. You know, what if in every encounter you have at work, we just get it in mind. I would like to make sure that my coworker's day is better at the end of the day. An encounter of increase. Is that a place that it could all start? Where I could be someone that says, I'm taking it seriously that I want to comfort the people. I want to be the peace I hope to see. Peace on earth, goodwill to all. It's Christmas time. Let's let the Christ be born in us. Thank you.
Welcome to the Sunday service at CSLN. We are a welcoming and inclusive community of inspired individuals caring for and about each other and the entire planetary family. The Center for Spiritual Living Nashville offers spiritual tools for anyone seeking a more fulfilled and meaningful life through a deeper connection with a higher power or universal truths. Be sure to subscribe below if you enjoy our programs.